So we're here with Arnold Quintana, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself.
Hi. If you want me to start, I was born with a stage 5 heart murmur. For those of you who do not really know what that means, is there was a hole in my aortic valve, meaning that my heart would not pump 100% of my blood to my body. At first it was just a small hole, slight murmur, but as my body grew, the hole also grew. With that, we tried fixing it when I was 7 years old.
How did that turn out?
This procedure was a failure. What the procedure consisted of was putting a balloon over the hole, but my body rejected that balloon, and I ended up getting a intense blood clot in my heart and just made it worse than what it was. And after that, I had to take blood thinners for another 9 years because I had to thin my blood out in order for my heart to pump my blood to my body.
So you had a surgery last year, correct?
I did have a surgery last year. The surgery was a aortic valve replacement, and basically the only reason why we did that is because my doctors believed that I was ready. I was ready to have it replaced because my body stopped growing.
Can you tell us what was going through your mind before the surgery?
What was going through my mind? I was scared. I was scared, if I want to be honest with you, because since I was young, I knew this surgery was inevitable. The procedure just was trying to help prolong it, and I knew that when I turned 18 or 17, I was going to have the surgery no matter what. And as time got closer to the surgery, I got more anxious, had more anxiety because I didn't know how to cope with it. I had to make a huge decision that would affect the rest of my life, and it was a scary experience for me.
What was the decision that you had to make in those weeks prior to?
Well, this decision was I had to choose between two valves. The first valve would be a pig valve, pretty much. And this pig valve will last me for about 20 years at the most, but I wouldn't have to take blood thinners because of it. The other option was a mechanical valve. With this mechanical valve would last me my whole life, essentially. But for the rest of my life, I would have to take blood thinners. And at first, I chose the mechanical valve because I believed that would be the easier option. But legitimately last minute, like the day of my surgery, I changed my mind and I went with the pig valve because thinking the day before my heart surgery, blood thinners suck. That's the only thing that I didn't want to live the rest of my life on blood thinners. 'Cause I've seen my grandfather on blood thinners and he's just so fragile. I've seen so many people on blood thinners, and I didn't want to be that.
So I heard you got a tattoo prior to the surgery, and it really demonstrated the mechanical valve. Do you regret getting that tattoo?
No, I don't. I find it more symbolic, if anything, because if I would look at this tattoo, I find it that I'll work like a machine. I'll keep going no matter what.
Already? So have there been any instances where the valve replacement has affected your life?
Well, since my heart surgery, I have gained a lot of energy. I'm able to breathe more, and compared to before my surgery, I can actually exercise. Before my surgery, my heart would vibrate compared to most people's hearts. And how most people's heart would beat would just be a normal but-um, but-um. Mine, at the end of each but-um, would vibrate. And it'd be something along the lines like that. After a hard run before my surgery, you could hear my heart beating. You could see my heart thump working harder than it should through my chest. But since then, I could breathe more. I could breathe easier. In all honesty, I'm living better. I don't have as much pain in my chest as I do, although on occasion I've had pain in my chest with this thing called pericarditis. And with what pericarditis is basically an inflammation on the pericardium sac of the heart. Although this was not really affected because of my heart surgery, it was just doctors believe that it was an unfortunate event. Other than that, I'm pretty fine. I feel normal for once, and it's a good feeling after living 17 years with a messed up heart.
What kind of burden has your surgeries put on your family?
Since my heart surgery, I've been really into bodybuilding. I started weightlifting 4 months. I pushed the boundary. After my heart surgery, I asked my doctor when I could start exercising, and he said the least amount of months that you could wait is 4. I would recommend 6, but you could start working out at 4. So after 4 months, I started weightlifting. And since then, my family's been worried about me about hurting myself. My family doesn't really want me to push myself so hard that I'm just going to end up fucking up my heart. And I'm fine so far. So far, that's the only burden that my family has to go for, is watching me with my bodybuilding.
So you have to watch what you're doing. Give us a laydown of how this heart valve has really made a difference in your life.
Really, this heart valve has made me more energetic. I've worked out before my heart surgery, but I couldn't really push myself because doctors said that my heart will get more muscle. And what the more muscle means, even less blood flow to my body, which I honestly do not understand. So since my heart surgery, I've been working out more and more, and that's the basic outcome of my year. I believe I had a girlfriend out of pity because I had this heart surgery, though. Other than that, nothing.
Has anyone treated you differently because of the valve replacement, or has it always been very supportive?
What do you mean by that?
Has your environment changed since you've had the valve replacement, or even during the time prior to the valve replacement?
I'll tell you what. Before my surgery, everyone knew about my heart murmur. I had loved to talk about it because you could hear it sometimes just by me without a stethoscope. You could hear it just fine. And people give me sympathy points for that. I enjoyed it. After my surgery, or before, a few weeks before, a few months after, people were really concerned about me. They asked me how I was feeling and so forth, but after those few months, no one really cared anymore. I'm just a normal person with a big scar on his chest. Not many people even notice the scar, in all honesty. Hardly anyone's ever asked me about it.
Last question to be, what are your plans after this year? Where are you going?
My plans after this year? I'm going to UNM. I'm going to the University of New Mexico in Albuquerque, and I'm gonna wing it, in all honesty. I don't know what I want to do in life. I do know what I want to do. I want to be an entertainer. But everyone's saying go to college so you have somewhere to fall back on. So I thought I might as well go to college, get my gen eds done, and go from there. Figure things out after that.
As a follow-up, in your college experience, do you think there's going to be complications that are going to arise from being separated from your doctors that are actually here in Colorado, or even just being separated from your family, someone that can actually understand what's going on in the situations that could arise from your heart valve messing up in any way, shape, or form?
The only one who really understands about my heart valve is myself. Because it's my body, I'm well aware of what's going on with it. And as with the doctors, it's not going to be any problem. There were good doctors in Albuquerque. I could adjust just fine.